The problem for
I thought
people...
about wearing a hat.
No, you can't wear a hat. You're not allowed to.
Why can I not wear
Because
a
you've got
hat?
hair.
So?
You can wear a hat when it's cold.
Ooh.
You can wear like a beanie. That's about it.
Alright, I'll wear a beanie.
Oh dear. Welcome back to the Sunday League Effect. I'm joined again with my good pal Nick. Hopefully you can hear us better today, but there's no promises because...
I speak quietly.
Yeah, and we're still on a budget. So
Yeah.
well, we've done it. What day is it today? It's Monday evening.
Yep.
You got here at 7. It's now probably about 1:30. Yeah,
Quarter
quarter
to
to 8.
eight.
We spent 45 minutes dicking around setting up cameras that were set up from last week.
Yep.
Trying to sort out the audio. We've got a makeshift table which consists of a lying down clothes horse and the top of a pool table box.
It's got beer on it though.
Yeah, it's got a beer on it, and that's all that matters.
That's it.
Yeah. So how you been anyway?
I've been alright actually. Busy weekend, played football on the weekend, watched the England game. It's England, isn't it?
International weekend just sucked. I said it last week.
Yeah.
It's just shit. I can't get my knee comfortable. I keep knocking this weird table and no one will see my socks. It's all good, don't worry. I'll just fold up.
That's alright, just like a pretzel.
Yeah. International weekend though, you're just getting started for the season. You wait 3 months from May to end of August to start seeing the Premier League again, or Championship. It's 1 week difference. SPL, whatever takes your fancy. From the British Isles, you're going to either be watching the Premier League, the Championship, League One potentially. There's a few weirdos that support League Two teams and no one else.
I mean, you've also got, like, now that Wrexham are on the way up, because of, obviously their investment, like we mentioned last week. Yeah. I think you have a lot more fans, especially from abroad and things like that. So obviously, like you said, it's obviously international weekend, or it was international weekend, and now into the international week. I agree with what you were saying earlier. It's well too early in the season, I think, to be doing it. And the Nations League, let's be honest. Like, when was the last time England ever really tried with it, bothered with it?
Well, the first one, we got to the final. Because Jamie, my son, was asking the other day, what is this? Like, what is it a friendly? And I was like, pretty much. They got rid of friendlies to make it more competitive so that players stop dropping out, picking their clubs over their country. Yet we still have it. We had, how many players pulled out? We had Cole Palmer pull out.
Yep.
And there was a few others. I can't remember who, but a few others pulled out as well. Did you see that he got dropped from the Conference League squad? So he's not in Chelsea's Conference League squad.
Why?
I'm assuming for they don't want to overwork him, and they've got like 4 million players.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. They've got enough.
They don't need him in that. No. Conference League, they should piss it.
They should.
With their third team. They'd probably piss it with their under-18s. But it's still... If I was him, I haven't lifted a Continental Trophy. He left Man City I believe the year... No, he was there. No, he was there the year they won the treble.
Was he?
I don't know if he was in the Champions League squad though. But anyway, I want to be part of a team that wins European trophy. He's going to be a mainstay in Chelsea now for the next 10, 12 years, hopefully. And that means he's going to be at Chelsea from the ground up. Because they're going to get back to the top with the vast amount of money that they spend. They won't get bent over by the Premier League because they earn too much globally for the Premier League. Same as Man City, which is why their 110 charges haven't been,
15.
whatever it is, hasn't gone any further. But you want to be, like it's like Company when he's at Man City. Do you think he would have taken lightly to not being in some of their squads? Or not playing the Carabao Cup final? Or whatever it's called when he was first there. No, it's part of his dynasty.
Yeah.
It's just another string to his belt. Like, I was there from this point, from the first trophy, to when I retired with all these trophies. I was in every one of them squads.
Absolutely, because otherwise it'll become a stats game further on when you do retire and things like that. And it always comes to when players retire, they always
look at trophies.
Look back at it and go, oh, how much did you win? If you're not part of the squad, you can't claim that trophy.
No, if you don't play, and I know it's only the Conference League. I know it's not where Chelsea want to be, but at the same time, you have to respect what you're in. You can only win what you're in.
It's European.
Exactly.
It's still a European. And yes, I mean, Chelsea used to winning like Champions League.
Yeah.
Well, they were. But they've had success at the very top of that. But now what they're saying is they want to be building back up to where they were, or to be better than what they were. And any player that thinks they're too good to then play in that Conference League needs to understand you're not as good as you used to be.
Yeah.
You need to get back up there.
Yeah, and even that sentiment though, there's no one in that Chelsea team bar a couple of the latest recruits who have won anything.
Yeah.
So João Felix is the only real signing, and Enzo Fernandez Well, Enzo's only really internationally. It's not domestically.
Yeah.
Because he was at Benfica, and before I think he had 1 season at Benfica before he came from South America. I think.
Yeah.
João Felix he got his major money move out of Atletico. He won the league there. I think he was there when he won the league. Was at Barca last year. Failed to pull up any trees, but they don't really have that many winners. Like when you think like I'm struggling to. I'm struggling to find real winners in that team. And you look at Lukaku, they got rid of. Raheem Sterling, they got rid of. Thiago Silva's gone back to wherever he's gone back to.
I'm surprised he's still playing.
Yeah. They got rid of Kepa. Yeah, Kepa's maybe not the most fancy goalkeeper, but he has experience, and he has experience at the highest level.
Oh, absolutely. And it's I understand what you mean. And now it seems to be that what they've just done is they've just thrown money at this player, that player, every player, hoping that eventually it'll stick and they'll merge into a decent team. The problem that you've got now is that obviously any manager, past or future, would not be able to get that team going because, yes, competition is good, but competition with so many will eventually, a lot of players will go,
I'm never going to get
it. What's the point?
Yeah.
And I mean, you should always go into it thinking that I deserve that place.
Yeah.
And you should have the mentality that you're better than everyone else.
Well, it just becomes such a washover. Like the prime example again, I'll go back to Raheem Sterling, and he might not be somebody's favourite for obvious reasons. He's wasteful and he can be lazy at times, same as a lot of wingers.
Yeah.
But for someone like Enzo Maresca, who is very inexperienced as a manager, not even an elite manager, as a manager, this is only his second job. For someone like that to turn around and say to Raheem Sterling, who has won everything domestically, you're not good enough to be part of my squad, which has no outstanding wingers, let me add. Cole Palmer, he was phenomenal out on the right last year, but he wants to play in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is where he's going to be playing this year. So you're telling me the likes of Mudryk, Madueke, who else they got? Well, they got a plethora of wingers. They got Pedro Neto's arguably bad, but going back to stats and what they've won, they've not won anything. They're all just young, raw players that need moulding. I saw Mudryk when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah.
Before he made the move to Chelsea, when he played against Celtic. And he looked phenomenal, raw, but he was the only reason that Shakhtar won that game. And I understand that's Celtic. I understand that the level isn't anywhere near the same as what he's coming up against. But he's not developed at all in 2 years. No. And that's because of the setup at Chelsea. From grassroots level to the first team and the coaching and the way there's so many shifting parts constantly. There's no continuity to really develop.
It's not cogs all moving together, it's just random cogs spinning.
Yeah, there's no way to nurture these players that have the talent.
Yeah.
They just need to have it unlocked. Like Cole Palmer's an enigma. I said it, I alluded to it. It might have been last week, might have been in a different video that I did. His mentality is so elite. To have so much belief in himself, to go from Man City, where Pep's told him, you are part of my plans, I do rate you, you are good enough, just not now.
Yeah.
To take that with a pinch of salt, jump ship to Chelsea, which everyone can see is an absolute shit show, and still perform at the levels that he did, then going into the England team, not really understanding the part he's going to play.
No.
Or how much he was exactly. There's no real coaching there. I think that's proven in Gareth Southgate's tenure. No one developed internationally apart from the players like Harry Maguire, Jordan Henderson, and they're your safe bets.
Yeah.
So to take
Harry Kane, I mean.
Yeah, Harry Kane's on the
Harry Kane always delivers.
Yeah, but to take that mentality after a phenomenal season and not let it affect him at all, and still perform every time he came on for England, he might not have been super effective in terms of winning the game or goal creation or chance creation, but he was himself and he made a difference.
He had the desire.
And then exactly, and then looking to this season now, the way he started is like he hasn't left. If you compare that to Ollie Watkins, who had a phenomenal season, a decent summer, and he's fallen off a wagon. And that's the third time in a row I bought Ollie Watkins, and I won't do it again. I feel like I'm slamming the guy for no reason.
You will, though.
Yeah, probably.
You'll find some other reason.
Yeah, but
he didn't score against you, did you?
No, John Duran did.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So apart from the likes of Cole Palmer, who has the mentality and the ego to get through the shit, they're not going to find talents like that. They're not going to be able. They're going to waste a lot of talent. Like Madueke, before he got his hat trick, was told he wasn't wanted. Now he's their starting right winger. One good game. Come on now.
This is the thing, though, isn't it? Like, I struggle to see how players are going to Chelsea when there is going to be so little consistency of, or even still, if there is consistency of the normal starting 11 and you're not, say, starting 18, what you're going to find is that you've got players that are always going to know they're not going to be on that list. And I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, if I am a player, especially a young player who thinks I've got the talent to be
playing in the Premier League,
playing top level football, I don't want to be sat on the bench or even still sat in the stands waiting for my chance.
Not even in the squad because there's so many players. But if you look at like the going back a few years, not too many years, but recent times, they let the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek go, Fikayo Tomori. They've gone on to AC Milan, both of them, and have been mainstays. Even Tammy Abraham. I've never rated Tammy Abraham as an elite striker, but he's gone on and he's done well. He got out of Chelsea, and they all would have gone firstly to the English quota for Chelsea.
Yeah.
But they would have done well for them because, for me, and now this is me from the outside perspective looking in, I'd still get Ruben Loftus-Cheek in their best midfield. I don't personally rate Enzo. I don't see the big hype. I do like Caicedo and I do like Lavia.
Yeah.
But who are you gonna?
Who's going to be your playmaker?
Yeah. If you're playing those two or those three, Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia, so you're shifting Cole Palmer back out right, or are you playing a narrow diamond? But what you do, like where they've got so many elite players.
This is the problem.
Elite players.
Yeah. If you want to have all this top class talent, that's great.
Yeah.
And you should have it. Man City has a lot of very top class talent.
But even that, they have 2 man for every position.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not 5, 10 man for every position.
Yeah. Go back to the great teams of the past, like Barcelona with Ronaldinho, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. Can you name any of their subs? Any of their regular subs?
I don't think I could.
Exactly. And not many people could because they had a strong 14.
Yeah.
And then they had fillers. That could be anyone.
And it would be a case of... But when you went to Barcelona, you knew you had to be elite. I mean, obviously Barcelona's changed now and it's not... I mean, obviously they're still successful, but they're playing...
They're going through a period.
Yeah.
Of adjustment, should we say.
Absolutely. But like that's where stars used to want to go to. Mm-hmm. And now, like we were saying last week, money seems to have taken over a lot of what football is. So like players that now are going to Chelsea. Money. But how many of them are going for the love of wanting to play football, or how many of them are going, I could earn 60, 70 grand a week sitting on the bench or sitting in the stands?
Well, this is what I said to you about Dewsbury Hall. The signing just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what is his thinking? Like, he's 26. You've signed for Chelsea. Mm-hmm. You're never going to be starting. Like, you're never going to get into that starting 11. Because, yeah, you're a decent player. You're an average, maybe above average Premier League centre midfielder. Yeah. Like, you're not... Stay in your station, like...
Couple more seasons, Championship.
Yeah, well, even at Leicester, staying at Leicester, do a season, prove you can do it in the Prem.
You know, Chelsea is still a top club.
Yeah.
I couldn't see where he would fit into their regime of things, or even...
Well, I expected Maresca to get rid of some more midfielders. I'd forgotten about Lavia. Lavia is a quality player. That's why they forked out from Southampton for him. But there's just no way he gets into that midfield, and it goes back to why we were talking about it. I think this is why he's left Cole Palmer out of his Conference League squad to give
other players
like Dewsbury, who he bought from Leicester with him, the promise of European football. Here's some European football.
Yeah.
You're going to be my starter in this competition.
It's too much. There's too much going on there for players, like you say, young players especially, to be able to become better.
Yes,
you're not going to nurture the talent of someone. You're literally picking up as much mud as you can, hoping to find diamonds.
Yeah,
but you're not working to find those diamonds. You're just scooping it up and just
you're throwing shit at the wall and hoping that you paint a pretty picture.
Yeah,
and it's going to happen at some point. And they've started the season like it could be this season that they do kick on. And I don't think that's down to coaching. I think it's just down to sheer volume.
Enough.
It's the volume of players. And the large crux of their team has had a season together now, which helps. Their injuries, Poch had a lot of injuries. Still, I know he got a few injuries in, the likes of Reece James and...
Reece James always seemed... Reece James can be an amazing player, but he just seems so riddled with injuries.
He's made of glass. Like, the geezer's never fit. And that would be a worry for me. As your club captain as well, like, he got made captain and he's been just as injury prone. Like, I know being made captain doesn't stop you getting injured, but
it doesn't make you invincible, unfortunately.
Nah, it should though. But anyway, moving away from Chelsea, I don't care about Chelsea. I hope they fail miserably.
I mean, I don't want to see any clubs fail.
I want Chelsea to fail.
One big reason why I'd like to see them succeed. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me because I don't. Are
you a secret Chelsea fan?
No, but my thing is what I want in the Premier League more than anything else is competition.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the same two winning the Premier League.
Well, I'm sick of it just being two.
Yeah.
Because before it was Arsenal and City, it was Liverpool and City. And then there was a season or two when it was probably, what was it, Man United? No, it weren't Man United. Chelsea was probably
Chelsea's
up there. Anyway, moving on to international weekend. Did you watch the England game?
I watched some of it because I was playing football. So I unfortunately missed the only exciting part of the game.
Yeah, because it was just Rice and Grealish scored against, obviously, they're both Irish heritage.
Yeah.
Rice made his under-18s and first team appearances before he made his swap. Grealish played under-18 football. So the Irish fans loved that. Lee Carsley played for Republic of Ireland, so it's a weird dynamic for the First Nation League game.
We didn't just throw it away.
Yeah, same. And there were times where I was looking at the second half and I'm being like, Roy Keane made a really good comment at the end of the game. He said, for how good England were in the first half, they was just as poor in the second half.
Yeah.
Ireland were there for the taking, and it could have been 6-7-0. Much like your game on Saturday. It could have been 6-7-0. Do you want to talk about that?
I'd rather not. As much, I don't want to talk about it. It was poor. First game back for the season, we didn't come out of the blocks at all. Right?
You're talking about your team?
Yeah.
Well, our team. I'm injured at the minute, so I obviously can't play. But I did go and support the boys. I wish I didn't. Because it was fucking shit.
It was hard.
And then, the worst thing is knowing that there's no fucking football to go home and watch. I have to wait for shitty England to play. The best thing about it is that Southgate wasn't in charge anymore.
Well, I had a commiseration beer after the game.
Oh, yeah, well, you need one.
Oh, I needed it. Yeah, definitely. So that commiseration beer was then interrupted by England starting the game, which I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was it was like 15 minutes in by the time I got to the pub.
International weekend, it just all the time, because there's so many games on.
Yeah.
And because my Sky app that I normally look for West Ham kickoff times, it for some reason it's not affiliated to England.
Other apps are available.
So it doesn't give me the England kickoff time, so I have to scroll through fucking Israel versus Kazakhstan and go all the way down.
It goes Nations League, and then I'm like,
women's football comes before international football on it.
For tomorrow, I saw it's like
Salford is at the top for tomorrow.
Yeah, I was like, maybe England aren't playing tomorrow.
Hoping.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Finland.
Yeah, Finland. Oh, mate, I'm not even gonna watch it. I say that. I'm so desperate for football. I will watch it. First 20 minutes were good. It genuinely looked like it could have been any.
Well, when I turned it on and it was 2-0, I thought to myself, like, fantastic. Maybe, like, obviously we slowed down a little. We scored 2, slowed down a little bit, which is that's pretty much England. But then some of it was very like Southgate-esque.
Yeah.
And it starts making me think that maybe it's not Southgate.
I think I stand by this. It's similar to what I think is going on at United. I think the FA have a large hand in what happens at England. And I'm not saying they pick the team, but I think they have certain parameters that you have to fit between, which is why I called it after Southgate went. I was like, Lee Carsley will be the next England manager because he's the under-21 manager. It was the same with Southgate. They like to keep it in-house because they know they can mould them to do what they want.
Yeah, I do agree. And they've started as well.
Yeah.
So they've already moulded how they want them to play.
Exactly. And under-21s always seem to do really well. So that's how they keep us, the public, quiet. Oh, it might be really good because the under-21s have just smashed all these tournaments.
Yeah.
When in reality, these under-21s are just better players.
Should have brought the women's coaching.
What? Which one?
Sabrina Biegman.
Oh yeah. So you don't think she looks a bit like Sven?
She does.
Yeah, is that okay to say?
I mean, yeah, God bless his soul.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a dig it in.
No, I know. Why, is it a dig at her or him?
I don't know.
Who looks feminine, who looks male?
It's probably a dig at both of them, to be honest.
To be honest.
But she does, yeah. No, but I think that's too controversial. Like,
but why we're all about giving equality and stuff. I mean,
would you want a female manager in charge of England?
I probably wouldn't say no to it. But hear me out.
Right.
She got. I mean, I'm all for the women's game, and I think actually the quality of women's games has got a lot better.
It couldn't get any fucking worse.
Fair point. Very, very fair point. I get it on my TikTok all the time. It's like watching kids play.
Yeah, mate, some of the I watch the goalkeeping there's always the same one, and I'm like, that's a professional goalkeeper. Like I understand the levels that we're at, but if that's comparable to the men's game, where is it? Where do we put it? Where is it? That's elite women's football. Where is this?
Ollie.
And exactly, it's like a semi-pro level. Like it's not.
Yeah.
But it has come on leaps and bounds. It is a lot better now.
Of
so
course.
Before it was, I think, USA, England, Germany were like far and away better nations, and I think the rest are catching up along with those countries elevating
more elite and things.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't want to. I'm fully behind women's football, like I am men's football. But I grew up watching men's football, so I want to keep on watching men's football. If I choose to watch women's football at another time or later in life, then let me watch women's football. It doesn't need to be merged. I'm sick and tired of the constant. We are going to make you now want to watch it. We're going to throw women pundits in that have terrible views, not because they're women, but because they have terrible views and opinions.
That's why you don't see Michael Owen anymore.
Exactly, because he's a fucking weapon. Joey Barton doesn't get TV time because he's a fucking weapon.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a fucking dick as well.
If a pundit says something stupid, say it as it is. Don't make it about gender, race. Yeah. You're just an idiot. Just if you have
people are, to put this into perspective for us.
Yeah.
There are going to be people that watch this and think, "Fucking hell, these guys are idiots."
Yeah.
And they're probably going to tell us because it's the internet and everyone hides behind their keyboards and it's what they do.
Yeah.
You've got all these people that are keyboard warriors and they go on Twitter and they moan and complain. And it is unfortunate that every time it happens to be a female pundit that says something that people don't agree with, or it just is a stupid comment.
Yeah.
It always comes down to the fact that it's because she's a woman.
Yeah.
But actually,
it's just a stupid.
I would think exactly the same of it being a stupid comment.
Well, Michael Owen still gets referenced. You just brought him up.
Yeah.
When was the last time you actually heard him commentate?
I don't think I remember. I don't even remember him actually commentating.
Well, in America, they have pundits like Craig Burley. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. Chris Sutton doesn't know what he's talking about. He just says stuff to trigger people.
Yeah.
And
that's Joe Barton as well.
Yeah. But Joe Barton doesn't have the platform. He uses our platforms like Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Sutton's given a punditry job.
Yeah.
And he still spits this absolute nonsense. Robbie Savage is another one. Alan Smith does my head in. And he's so biased. There's a lot of biased ones, to be fair. But Martin Keown loves everything about Arsenal. Anyone else who won't hear it. But I'll call it out, like you said. When they're stupid or say something stupid, I'll say it.
It's not because of gender, race, whatever. Yeah. I don't give a shit. If you're dumb, you're dumb.
Yeah, so I think this is where I'm probably going to contradict myself and say, why can't they? Well, there's the question is, why can't they merge? I just like to keep it separate. The fact that it's now called Player of the Match really winds me up. Player of the Match, not Man of the Match. It winds me up.
Why did?
Because
I'll be honest, I didn't even notice that.
It's for equality, because they want to take the gender side out of it. But even though it's men's football...
But they could have women of the match.
Yeah, exactly. That
in the women's game.
I'm not an idiot. That would have made more sense. But they both have Player of the Match now. And it's so...
That's lazy, I think.
It's so woke. It's woke, isn't it? And I have a problem with that real cliche woke word, apart from when it affects my love of the game, which is the only thing that I have an unwavering love for is football. The only thing, and my kids.
I was going to say, maybe kids.
Oh no, they can be dicks.
So can football.
Yeah, true. I support West Ham. Yeah, so I'll take that back.
But no, I know exactly what you mean. It seems to be shoved down our throats nowadays that everything has to be. But going back onto why I would choose her, it's not because she's a woman. That doesn't matter to me. It's Because when I did watch the women's game, and maybe it's because it's women against women, but I actually enjoyed the way they played. They played to score goals. They won a game 20-0. Don't get me wrong, the opposition was ridiculously easy to beat, and I get that, but it's the fact they didn't stop.
You watched the game where England won 20-0?
Yeah.
You watched the whole game?
I watched it from about 10-0.
You must have been fucking well bored.
I cheered every time.
What on earth? Were you pissed?
No, I can't even remember what I watched.
Jesus
I
Christ.
think I was just sat at home. But this is what I'm saying, like, it's the fact that in the women's game, they don't give up or park the bus. Parking the bus against a bog standard team. Now, Republic of Ireland have, some superstars.
No.
Okay,
they used to. When we were kids, they did.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
The Republic of Ireland are a team.
Yeah.
England are a better team.
Yes.
To put it simply, in stats and in everything.
Yeah.
There is no reason, with the squad that we've got, we couldn't go out there and beat them 10-0.
It's almost like it goes back to what we were what we were saying earlier. Is there some kind of in-house agreement with these home nations? I know it's not a home nation, Republic of Ireland, but it is.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got
their neighbours,
an Irish manager, not Northern Irish manager, an Irish manager, tells you that relationships aren't anywhere near as big as what they used to be, especially in something at elite level as football.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, because you never see us battering Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, when in reality we have the pick of the best players from all of those countries.
Yeah,
because most
of
them
choose us because we're the most
apart from the idiots like Ryan Giggs.
Yeah,
and there's multiple reasons why he's an idiot, but we won't get into that. We'll just talk about specifically him choosing Wales over England.
Yeah,
if you have a bunch of strawberries, you pick the best ones. You don't pick the fucking small shitty ones. Where are you going with that? But that's essentially what the FA can do.
Yeah, they can.
And now it's as far as like we can dip into.
We get the nice red, juicy, big ones.
And now, this is why when I think I'm rifting massively here, but I saw Janobi Mikel talking about when he was playing for Chelsea, the Nigerian government approached him and said, "I need you to speak to your Nigerian brothers in England and get them to play for Nigeria rather than England."
Yeah. Because
a lot of them have dual nationality because they're second generation.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was so hard to get the players to come home to play for their home nation, and it was trying to instill that in them. Yeah. And it's because England are the big shiny lights, the
Wembley Arch.
Yeah, it's the promise of winning stuff, and that's essentially what we do with Wales and Ireland, apart from the select few that are just idiots. Because you're not going to win anything with Wales, although they nearly did.
Yeah, I mean, again, it almost seems like the home nations are up and coming, but do I feel that they're going to be able to catch up? No.
I think it's in the worst state it's been in centuries.
Yeah,
I've not been alive for centuries, decades.
Yeah, I think so.
I've had 2 beers. Leave me alone.
Chill, mate. No, but the thing that annoys me about England is the fact that we don't play attacking football.
I think that is what annoys the nation. That's why everyone fell out of love with Southgate.
But you watched Lee Carsley in his first game, and he got 2-0 up and pucks. Like, he played possession.
He just stopped playing. Yeah.
79% possession.
And do you know what the best and worst thing about the most recent game is? I love that he picked his players, and he picked his players because he picked Grealish, who's not played. He picked Maguire. Yeah. And he then picked, who else did he pick? Whoever he picked. He picked players that he wanted to pick, and he played them based off of his knowledge of them. Like, I think he played Levi Colwill as well. I actually didn't look at the starting lineup too much. I know that it was an oddity, like the back four. Like, wouldn't have been what I picked, but he picked players based off what he wanted. Yeah. And I like that. It means that he's showing a little bit of pizzazz. There we go. A little bit of bravado. He picked what he wanted, and it was a different formation, and Grealish got a goal and played well. The best I've seen Grealish play in a long time. Definitely. And lo and behold, Pep's nowhere to be seen. He knows he's on his way out because in his post-match interview he says, "I just want to get back to playing football."
Yeah, and I mean, Grealish is one of those players that I think you need to nurture the talent again with Grealish. Look how well he did at Villa.
Yeah,
moved away from Villa, started playing Pep's football, gets dropped.
I think it's what he wants. What what he really, really, really wants is just to play football. He just wants to be like at school again. Just give me the ball and I'll make something happen.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid and we were losing, I'd say, give me the ball and I'll make something happen. And it's exactly how he plays.
Yeah.
And that's why, as much as I hate his accent, I love Jack Grealish. As much as I hate his hair, his socks, his good looks.
Calves.
Yeah, and I love watching him play football, but not for Man City.
No.
And on Saturday was the first time in recent memory where I've seen Jack Grealish, who I love, play.
Yeah.
And he really needs to get back to doing that. And I hope he stays in the. Well, he's going to stay in the England team. I think that proves it.
Yeah, I think he played well enough to be considered next time.
Yeah.
Basically, when we actually play something proper.
Which will be the next tournament when we lose.
World Cup.
Anyway, moving on to the segment that I gave you homework for. Your all-time England 11.
Yeah.
So I want first team, manager, formation, and 5 subs.
Okay.
Yeah, you got that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good, because you should, because I gave you the homework.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I want it in any format that you want. You can just tell me what you're doing. If you give me formation, manager first, or whatever.
So I'll give you manager first.
Yeah.
Now I went into a bit of a stats frenzy.
Oh no! So if you're on stats, that means you only picked one man. Actually, no. There's 2 men technically, and then the 2 men that I'm between. To be fair, as well.
Yeah. So technically, in number 1 with highest win rate is Fabio Capello.
Sam Allardyce, 100%. One game.
Well, you can't count him.
You look at your face. Just when
I was like,
you're like, fuck, have I read something wrong?
What have I done here? Have I missed number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sam Allardyce has a 100% record with one shit game against Slovakia.
Yeah. But
and it was a 1-0.
Doesn't matter, you won, mate.
Against no.
100%.
You might as well take it as a loss. Only win 1-0.
Go on, so Fabio.
So Fabio, I didn't choose Fabio.
Okay, no, but you said Fabio.
But his win rate was at 66 or something like that.
Was it really that high?
60%. Yeah, out of 69 games, I think.
Okay, I didn't realise you.
The man that I chose.
Yep.
Is Gareth Southgate.
Okay.
He has a 61.7% win rate out of 103 games. I mean, one person has beat him to that, and that was Alf Johnson. But I wasn't alive for that.
Alf Ramsey.
Alf Ramsey, yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you get Johnson from? Just one of the most English name you could think of.
Yeah, pretty much. But I wasn't around for that.
No.
So obviously, what we said with this was that we do it on what?
Yeah, that's actually So it's our lifetime. So I was born in 91. You was
93.
Yeah. So we're going to be around about from the Euro 96 squad. You might see a couple players onwards.
Yeah, I mean,
you might in mine. You might not in yours.
A lot of, for me, when I was younger, as much as I loved football, I loved playing it a lot more than watching it. A lot like kids now. Most kids nowadays won't sit and watch a whole football game unless they're at the game. They won't sit and watch it on TV.
And that's only because their parents have told them, don't fucking move. Yeah. You sit and watch it. I've paid. You sit and I'll get you a Mars bar. Yeah. That costs £9.
Yeah, and then I'll try and get money back for it. So to start with, now this was something quite difficult, but again, starting it from when I loved football.
Stop.
I know, I'm justifying it because I feel like I'm going to be like absolutely ridiculed for it. I chose Pickford as my goalkeeper.
Okay.
I love his attitude.
You love his attitude?
I love.
Wow.
He's so angry, and it makes me happy to see someone actually look like they care that much.
But I reckon if you could hear what he was saying, it would just be he doesn't even say words.
But the facial expressions.
He's like Muttley from that. What was the Wacky Races? Yeah, he's like.
But yeah, I chose Pickford.
I think it's a solid choice.
He's been solid.
I really hope we've not got exactly the same team.
Well, we'll find out soon, won't we? I went with a 4-2-2-2.
4-2-2-2.
With a wide diamond.
Yeah, it's a 4-2-2-2. Yeah, so 2 holders, 2 wingers, 2 up front.
2 CMs, 2 wingers, 2 up front. So there's so right back.
It's like 4-4-2.
Yeah,
A
basically.
wide 4-4-2.
Yeah,
okay.
Right back, I chose Gary Neville, which we spoke about.
Why?
We didn't have a discussion before we started this about who we pick. Now, for me, when I first started falling in love with actually watching football, I didn't really watch defenders I enjoyed the goals being scored. So I did struggle with this a little bit. So again, I went through some stats, and Gary Neville was solid.
For England? What is England stats, or did you go through his United stats?
I went through his England stats. He was solid, apparently. Look, I might be wrong.
I don't remember Gary Neville playing too much.
I might be wrong, but
I just remember him being a hot mess whenever he played. He was the sweatiest. I'm sweaty, but he was the sweatiest footballer I've ever seen. And he always looked tired.
Anyway, Gary Neville was sort of my just throw in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, because I didn't want to choose anyone too recent, because then people would just be like, oh, it's only because you've just seen him. And
Yeah.
shit. Left back, I chose Ashley Cole.
Yeah. I think arguably the best left back in the world at the time. At his peak, anyway.
Yeah. So I'm going on all these being in their prime.
Yeah.
My two centre backs are John Terry.
Yep.
And Rio Ferdinand.
Yep.
Seems like solid choices.
Yeah. You got the pace and you got the brawn.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they can do pretty much anything. Who would you prefer out of the two of them? This is a question that a lot of people get asked. If you had to pick one in your team, not in your England team, just if you were picking your best all-time 11, you can only have one of them two.
I think I'd choose John Terry.
Really?
I think I like his leadership skills better than I like Rio. Like, Rio Ferdinand is a solid defender, I'm not saying that. But John Terry is a solid defender. I love his leadership skills. And I think him in front of Pickford would then control the midfield as well. And I think that they would probably work really well together in actually controlling the team.
I'd go Ferdinand.
Would you go Ferdinand?
Purely because I think Ferdinand would still be an elite defender today. I think John Terry would struggle with the way football's gone now.
Yeah, I get that.
Ferdinand had all the attributes to be a professional footballer in any time. Like Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo could be an elite footballer in any time period.
Yeah, because he's got that full round.
Not just a period type of player.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But go on.
So, my centre mids, I've chosen Steven Gerrard.
Okay.
And Paul Scholes.
Okay.
Now, one of the big things as to why I chose it, I am justifying it, obviously. But
these two you're going to have to justify for everyone because there's so many centre midfielders over time that we could have had.
Oh, absolutely. But my thing for it was I saw these two the most growing up.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed watching them play football the most. So for me, as much as there might be other defenders and midfielders around the same sort of era that statistically are better, I liked.
Strange that you've gone off statistics for everything else, but you just wanted to get Gerrard in, which is all you're saying right there.
Yeah.
You wanted to get one of those two in over Lampard, and just you've not gone off statistics.
Yeah. Basically, I just hate Lampard.
Okay. That's fair. Because I've got a very similar reason for not picking someone that you picked.
Okay. So right mid, right wing.
Yeah.
I chose David Beckham.
Okay. I think it's the obvious one, but yeah.
I 100% agree, the obvious one, but for the rest of my team, I just don't know who else would take free kicks. So he's a set piece taker.
Well, I'm assuming I'll let you finish it, but go on.
But yeah, and also
it's Becks. Everyone loves Becks.
Yeah. Left mid, left wing.
Mm-hmm.
Not ideally where I play him, but I wanted to get him in the team was Phil Foden.
Really? Mm-hmm. Your all-time England 11. You got Phil Foden in there.
Of what I have seen, of what I have watched, I love the way Phil Foden plays. But
I think we're slightly different. I meant off of England, like playing for England.
Even still.
Really?
But I prefer him in the middle, but I didn't have space to put him in the middle, so I put him in what his position could be.
Okay.
I don't even regret that decision.
No,
I think that's a solid decision.
I'm here for cool. Who's your two strikers?
And he's up and coming as well. Like I still think Phil Foden's still going to be prime. My two strikers, Harry Kane, obviously.
Yeah.
And I chose Wayne Rooney. Okay. So the second space was actually the hardest.
Well, a second striker next to Kane.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I've also seen the likes of Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker.
But we didn't see them. We saw them towards the end.
But they're goal scorers.
Yeah.
So.
And they are elite goal scorers. Don't be wrong, but neither of them did particularly well for England.
No, very very true.
If you're going off stats, you got Peter Crouch. I nearly put Peter Crouch in.
I almost thought about him.
But then I was like, you can't put Peter Crouch in over Kane, Rooney, Owen, Shearer, Lineker, even Darius Vassell, Heskey. You can't put them in. You can't put Peter Crouch in.
No one's putting Heskey in.
Maybe not Vassell. I don't know why I said it.
I
think I looked at the players earlier. And that name just. So I remember watching. I was like, because he had that horrible. Remember the white obviously they're all white, but it had like the collar and a blue bit here. The crest was in the middle and it had like the red collar. It was just disgusting. It was massive as well. And he looked about this tall.
Yeah.
And
then my 5 subs. I did put a keeper in this.
Yeah, okay.
Only because I liked this keeper when I was growing up. So subs are Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard is there.
Okay.
I've also picked Kyle Walker.
Okay.
Prime Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Is what I want.
Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
You got 2 right backs.
Yeah, but I would want Trent in the middle. When the times that he's played in the middle and played well in the middle.
Very often he's played in the middle like once, and he never played there again.
Well, the one time I've seen him, his distribution's really good, and although he's not the best defender going forward in attack, in the way
I'm not questioning his ability.
Yeah.
I'm questioning that you put him over a plethora of English national players, so many.
I'm going on what I enjoy.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot more of it now is now.
You didn't enjoy. You can't tell me you enjoyed watching Gary Neville play.
Well,
because he is the most basic right back you're ever going to. If you could build a right back and tell him that to not do anything but stop the left winger, it's Gary Neville. Okay. He's not going to do anything going forward.
He does his job.
Go on, anyway.
But for me as well, now that I play right back, I have a much better understanding of the defensive line.
Yeah.
So nowadays, watching football, I understand it better, so I appreciate the ones that they're now. Hence why I've got 2 right backs from this era.
Both are better than Gary Neville, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
both those 2 are better.
I've got to find something a bit controversial, didn't I?
Yeah, so.
And then my 5th and final sub is a keeper.
Yeah.
And it is David Seaman.
Yeah, Seaman's
because I just loved David Seaman.
I thought you were the 2 because you were saying you were jogging between 2. I thought it was Joe Hart.
He did come into my mind, Joe Hart, but then as good as he was, could I pick him over David Seaman?
Probably not. But
I wouldn't pick him over Pickford.
No. I think my team's very similar. It's a bit disappointing, to be honest, that it's so similar. So I'm actually going to take a player out that I've got in my head. I'm going to take him out because I picked this person I'm taking out. I'll tell you afterwards.
So you're changing it?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
I'm taking him out. I put him in.
All right.
I never said I'd put him in, but I put him in because I rushed it a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I forgot to do this, and I did it about 10 minutes before you got here.
You dickhead.
Because I was fully expecting like you not to do it and you to do this, be like, I get it, I'll do it now. That's what I was fully expecting. It was only when you messaged me earlier.
What you're saying to me is you gave me homework. You're surprised that I've done it.
Yeah.
And you weren't prepared yourself.
If you gave me homework, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no. To be fair, I did mine earlier.
Well, mine's on paper. I did it in a proper book. You could have just.
That's probably the first thing
you could have stole someone else's.
I did. It's a picture.
My manager.
Yeah.
I am stuck between 2. I like one, and the other one is just statistically the best he's brought. So he's brought the team closer together than it's ever been, which is Southgate, obviously. He bridged the gap between our players that existed before we were born. Like, if you remember the Sven
Man
teams,
City and Man United teams wouldn't sit together.
They'd sit in separate tables.
No
they'd sit. Gary Neville was part of it. I think he was one I heard it off of. That they sit, and there was none of that. It was very much a unit you saw from all the camps. However, I don't like that when it goes back to their club teams. I like them to be separated. I do understand that it's a new game and it's moving forward. It's changing now, so you do interact.
There's not the aggression.
Yeah, the animosity isn't there anymore. You don't have your Vieiras or Roy Keane. No, it's gone. It's washed out. And whether you like it or not, it's mainly down to the international South, and Southgate's a main part of that.
Yeah.
However, I didn't pick Southgate purely because of the formation that I've got.
He wouldn't work with it.
He wouldn't work with it. He wouldn't pick these players either.
Okay.
So I've got Big Sam.
You chose Sam Allardyce.
Mate, I genuinely think I would have picked Harry Redknapp if he ever got a chance. For what I've seen. So I don't remember Terry Venables. Yeah. I didn't like Sven-Goran Eriksson. I didn't like Capello. No. Gareth Southgate I've never liked.
So he was solid.
Yeah, so there's not many managers that I could really choose personally. I saw Southgate. Yeah. I saw Allardyce at West Ham. Not pretty football, but he was effective. And he is a good coach. And he does get the best out of his players. And again, you'll see why with some of the players that I picked. Okay. So I've gone 4-4-2, standard flat 4-4-2.
Yeah.
But saying that, it is a flat 4-4-2, but it's going to sort of shift to become a 4-3-3.
Okay, so are you having wingers or mids?
I've got one winger.
Okay.
I've got one winger, and then I've got a left mid that's going to drift in. So my right side is going to be a winger, my left side is going to drift in and carry the ball and be a bit of a free roll.
Okay.
So I've got Pickford in goal. Yeah. Allardyce and Pickford would be a match made in heaven.
Yeah, they shout at each other.
Exactly. Tell me I'm wrong. Because Allardyce would tell him, and he'd do exactly what he told him to do. So Pickford, I don't think there's much of an argument about the goalkeeper, to be honest. Country, he's not put a foot wrong. And every keeper that I remember has always made a mistake.
You remember Rob Green?
Of course I do. I'm a West Ham fan. And then I remember Paul Robinson did something similar.
Yeah.
Who's the keeper at City? Carson did something similar.
Yeah, I was going to say Carson.
I can't believe I got the bit of paper. I look like such a neek.
Yeah. Nerd! Divulge afterwards.
Back four. Right back, Kyle Walker. Best right back I've seen for England. Period. I think he's the best right back in the world. And for the last 10 years, probably him and Carvajal have been the best right backs in the world. Marcello as well. So Kyle Walker, he's now at the tail end of his career. So you forget how good he was. He's now more about recovery pace, but he wasn't always like that. He was a decent defender in his time. Whether that was because of his pace or not, I'm not too sure. I think it got him out of a lot of trouble. But
I think his pace has got him out of a lot of trouble. He is still pacey. I think during the Euros he was playing with an injury. I think there was some sort of tenderness, and don't get me wrong, he is older.
Yeah.
And I think that he assumes that he's still young enough to be able to play. Well,
he relishes the chase. He says it all the time. And I think the want just isn't there anymore. He doesn't particularly care anymore. And why? At his age, when he's won literally everything.
What more is there apart from international success?
Like, if the want isn't there, it just isn't there. And I just don't think it is. I know he had a lot of stuff, mainly that he has like 4 kids by 2 different women at the same time going on in his personal life. His own choice, but anyway. And speaking of cheaters, we're on to the next one, which is our left back, Cheslea. Ashley Cole, Cheslea.
I was thinking, what?
You know who Cheslea is. You know why it's called Cheslea, right?
No.
When he went from Arsenal to Chelsea, it was all about money. So he's called Cheslea.
I'd never.
Back me up. Anyone. I don't care who. Anyone back me up.
One person watching this.
Yeah. If you
tell me that this is a thing.
If you've heard of Cheslea, just say I've heard of him, or tell me I'm a knob. Either or, that'll do.
Yeah. Or tell me that I'm a knob for never hearing of it.
But Cheslea at left back, centre back pairing, I think speaks for itself. I don't think many people can argue with Rio and JT.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many that can.
Especially from Mario. I mean, there will be people older than us.
We could have said Bobby Moore. Of course, he could have been captain at our World Cup winning team, but we didn't see him play.
No.
So we're going off what we see, and John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. Not many teams are scoring against that back four. The pace that we have there, we're not going to get caught out.
And the attacking.
Yeah, that's unreal. Then my flat four that will turn into a 3. I've gone against Scholes in the middle.
Yeah.
I've gone for Lamps. The only reason I've gone for Lampard. No, I don't like Gerrard or Lampard, but one of them has to be in the team. Lampard obviously left West Ham for Chelsea. He didn't leave us in the lurch or anything. He just left West Ham, so I don't like him. Rio Ferdinand left West Ham as well. Yeah, there's a lot of... And John Terry was a West Ham Youth Academy product, so...
You're not salty about this, are you?
No. Oh. But I went for Lamps over Gerrard for 2 reasons. Goal input, Lampard's goals from midfield. And if you got Scholes next to him, I think he can do the job of covering it when Lamps goes. I think there'll be a bit of a hole in my midfield, to be honest, but we'll live and die by the sword.
Yeah.
And Gerrard obviously scored the equaliser in the FA Cup final against us, and I'll never forgive him.
All
so
right,
that's fine.
He also made that slip that made Liverpool lose.
Yeah, and I loved it.
If Liverpool fans haven't remembered that.
I love that, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Now, I think I've sort of shit out as the left winger because I don't actually remember him playing too much.
Right.
But you can't not have Gaza or a shout out for Gaza. So I put Gascoigne, and we've always struggled for left wingers. I've refused to put Gerrard or Lampard out on the wing, or even Rooney out on the wing, which I've seen a lot of people with this element. They didn't play there. Don't do it. They're not that.
No.
Like, just don't do it. Like, Gaza wasn't a left winger. He played more as a cam, which is why he's going to drift in.
Okay. Right.
And then on the right hand side, I've gone with. I don't particularly like him, but I've gone with Bukayo Saka.
Okay. that because you want to be a basic bitch and choosing Beckham?
I'll talk about Beckham right at the end,
Right.
because he's not even in my squad. It's between Saka and Sterling, mainly for the output.
You know what?
England.
I debated Sterling because I actually think for England, in not obviously the last Euros, in the World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup and the Euros, yeah. He was our main man.
Solid.
Look, Sterling, for all his flaws, like he is a goal scorer. And do you know how many goals? I genuinely think this, by the way. He's going to get 10 plus goals this year for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And it's going to be those goals that no one else in their team gets because he's always just at the back post with an overhit cross, or he's just there. Their wingers don't do that. And if you can put Sterling on the left, obviously he's not on my left, but he'll be on the left for Arsenal because he's not getting over Saka. But he will get over Martinelli and Trossard, in my opinion. I'd start him over him.
Yeah.
His goal, they need a left winger. His goal ratio,
and he can do it.
Yeah, is far better than both of theirs.
I think.
Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go Raheem. I'm going to go Raheem just for longevity. So Saka is now pushed to the bench, which, by the way, he isn't even written down. I did have Bex, but I've scratched it now because I've thought about it more. And I've never wanted to put Bex in, but we'll talk about Bex later. I'll just play everywhere, sorry. My two strikers, again, I think it's pretty obvious. Kane and Rooney.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie. Rooney didn't particularly do a great deal for me when he played, but now watching back,
it's a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, how good he was, because you really appreciate. Obviously, I was like 15, 16 when he made his debut, so he's like a similar age to me. So you have this sort of, I never could have been that good. No one could ever be Rooney like Rooney was. The raw talent that kid had.
Do you know it's the raw desire?
Yeah, and it was just unbelievable how he didn't lead our nation to anything.
Yeah.
In any respect, is going to be one of the biggest travesties.
Yeah.
Like from international football, because he is, in my opinion, our greatest ever player. Someone's obviously going to supersede that at some point. Like it could be Foden, it could be Bellingham. I don't think it'll be Bellingham. It could be Foden. But Rooney's just and there's no stats to back that up. So in 40 years' time, when someone goes Wayne Rooney was England's best ever player, why?
Tell me why.
He's like third on England's top goal scorer list.
No.
Yeah, is he third? I've actually completely made that up. I have no idea. So
someone will Google it.
Yeah.
Someone will,
my bench is very different to yours.
Okay.
Like I don't think there's a single player on my bench that was on yours.
Alright.
I've got Maguire. England, he's been solid.
I thought about him as well.
And I'm not dropping Rio, so Maguire or John Terry is the player that would partner.
Yeah.
Rio. I've gone Carrick and Gerrard in centre mid, another ex-West Ham player. I just realised I've got another one. Carrick was so underrated for England and underappreciated in England.
Yeah.
And it's because he is like, he's not as good and he never was as good, but he is like the Busquets for England. He should have been the Busquets for England. The way that he could receive the ball in the half turn, and that's what we should have been playing 15, 16 years ago, but we never could.
Yeah.
So instead, there was always this argument about Lampard and Gerrard, or Lampard or Gerrard. Carrick was a much more suited player to where football was going at the time. We didn't develop quick enough, which is why Spain was so dominant, because they worked out like if you can move the ball moves quicker than the player.
Yeah.
So if
you're taught at a very young age.
Yeah. So if you have a player that can just play on a pivot, like Carrick could, you're going to win more than you lose. So Carrick and Gerrard, my two centre mids on the bench. I don't have any right backs. I've got. Again, I don't think his England record was very good. I don't think it was particularly good. I've not looked at it, but I remember I loved watching him play. Michael Owen. I loved watching Michael Owen play.
Well, he scored on his.
He scored a hat trick on his debut.
Was it a hat trick? Yeah. I was going to say. I thought it was only two.
And I remember I was in a pub with my dad and I watched him score that goal against Argentina.
Drinking Coke because he was underage.
Yeah, I was like 7. So I was 100% underage.
Fruit juice.
Yeah, I was in a pub. My dad's Irish, so it was a bit taboo to support England. And I was in an Irish pub as well. And when Michael Owen scored the goal, I'm a striker as well. I was fast at the time. I remember watching it, I was like, oh my God, that's going to be me. And he was only like 19 at the time. I was like, fuck me. And then he ruined his career by going Real Madrid.
I think he's younger than that, isn't he?
But however, he was young at that time.
He was our youngest goal scorer.
At that time, yeah.
At that time.
He might still be. Did Theo Walcott beat that?
No, I think somebody recently beat that.
Bellingham?
Bellingham.
There's no one that young in our squad.
Maybe not so recently. Maybe last sort of 10 years.
Another one. Anyone knows? Let us know.
Yeah.
And then last.
I love the fact that we're going to get all of our facts and things from other people.
We're not going to get any facts because no one's going to comment. But I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna comment myself about what I'm asking.
Create like 100 different accounts.
Yeah.
It's this.
That's how you get traction, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how it works. And then the last sub was Bukayo Saka.
No.
Saka, yeah. But yes, you'll look. Saka isn't even in the squad. Adri. You're not going to be able to see it because my camera's basically a potato, but he's not in the team.
We are recording on a potato. Yeah. And he is not in that squad.
Bex, I think, was overrated. I genuinely don't think he was that good a player.
Okay.
What made him an elite player, other than his ponytail and the fact that he was with a Spice Girl?
But it's the fact of what he brought to the pitch. Like, I feel like his leadership in midfield was solid.
What was his leadership based off of? His ability to raise the crowd or raise the players? Like,
Raise
he wasn't
the players.
vocal. He wasn't vocal.
But I don't think it was his vocal. I think it was his confidence just eluded out to everybody else. Eluded is not the right word. Exuberated.
Yeah, exuded.
Exuded to everybody else. I think that because he was basically what Bellingham is now.
No, he wasn't.
No, wait, hear me out. I don't mean in ability or anything like that. I mean that at the time, Beckham was the star boy. Everyone was. Adverts were for him. Adverts.
Yeah, but also you got to think, like, he got sent off against Argentina, and there was like burning effigies of him.
Yeah.
Like, he was hated. So he was the star boy, and he came back stronger. So credit to him for that. And that goal against Greece is probably my best ever England moment. Mm-hmm. I remember when that went in. That's not it. It's not the best free kick I've seen because I've been blessed to be a fan of Celtic and West Ham growing up. So I had Shinsuke Nakamura, who was the best free kick taker ever. Yeah, Dimitri Payet at West Ham. That goal against Crystal Palace defies physics.
Payet is a novice.
Yeah, he is. But anyway, we're talking about Bex. We're not talking about Payet.
Bend it like Payet. Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Bend it like Beckham.
But none of them goals did. But anyway. Yeah, but I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think the idea of Beckham supersedes the reality of Beckham.
He was hyped up a lot.
Yeah.
At the time.
And I think even now, I think people talk about Beckham. My son will know who Beckham is. Never saw him play. Never will see him play. Because he wasn't that good.
I think
Real Madrid signed him because he was a...
free kick taker.
No, they didn't even sign him because of that. Because he was a brand. David Beckham is a brand.
Like Ronaldo.
Yeah. Ronaldo was different though. Ronaldo would put in numbers. Beckham put in numbers as well. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, Ronaldo's better.
But he was in the Galacticos. The Galacticos. Well, I don't know why I said Cos. He was in the Galacticos. So he was playing with R9.
Yeah.
Like, he was playing with the best players ever. He was playing with Luis Figo, Roberto Carlos. Like,
does this not come back to what I was saying about Haaland last week?
No. That Real Madrid team would shit on Man City. I spat everywhere again. I'm so sorry.
Stop spitting at me.
Sorry. I'm just passionate.
Just get angry about it.
Yeah, I'm just passionate and angry.
Look, Beckham's not that bad.
I'm not saying he's bad.
All right,
I'm just saying that the reality of Beckham supersedes the reality. No, did I just say the same thing?
Yeah, you did.
The reality of Beckham supersedes the expectation and the memory of him.
But again, that's very much like Bellingham.
Yeah, I don't rate Bellingham either.
I think Bellingham is...
I think he's had a massive fall from grace.
I'm hoping that they are putting a stop to his England career for a little while before they ruin him like they did Rashford. Because I feel that Rashford was ruined by being brought into the England squad at a very young age and then made to be this star boy.
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about Rashford anymore because I keep going in with him and people are going to start thinking I have an agenda against him, which I don't.
Him and Ollie Watkins and...
Yeah. People are just going to think I'm racist.
I was going to say, is this a race?
Yeah, I think people are, might.
You are bald.
I don't like Harry Maguire. That's a good... I'll put him in my all-time England 16. Yeah, sweet. So we've been talking shit for an hour.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it. Done.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, anybody who watches the whole of this, be prepared for some shorts of probably me looking really stupid by saying something that's saying cut
I'm going to
short.
cut that out.
Why? So that I...
Yeah.
Right.
You have no control over this whatsoever.
No, I don't. Okay. So basically, he's letting me sign it out, but he's actually going to cut probably me out and add himself in there while I'm not even in the video. So thank you very much, guys. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any of the answers to the questions as well, that'd be great. Because if Mike's wrong, I'd really like to rub that in his face.
I'm not wrong.
You might be wrong. So
what
yeah.
am I wrong about? What was he?
No.
Yeah.